When a fight goes to the ground, the person on the bottom will look to get his opponent into his guard. There's three types of guard: the open guard, closed guard, and half guard. Let's start with the closed guard. The closed guard is where the feet are locked behind the opponent's back. This holds them in tight, and you hold on to them. You can grab arms and hold them down so that they can't posture up, because if they posture up, they can ground and pound, and that's when you're going to get knocked out. Next is the open guard. The open guard happens when you can't get the full guard because they have too wide of a base or they're too far away. And that's where you have a leg on either side of the opponent, but it's not locked. This helps because it's better than just having it here where he can go all over the place. It holds him in a little tighter, and if you can get him in close enough, you can lock it. And then last is the half guard. The half guard is when he tries to get around, or if he gets around one leg, and instead of letting him get completely over to my side, you wrap one leg and you lock, or you could lock here. This helps because it holds him in place so he can't get around, and from here you're going to try to push the legs down and get your foot back around and get him back into your guard. Next comes the side mount, side guard, and side control. All these easily get mixed up because their names sound so similar. But to get into any of these positions, you need to first break the opponent's guard. There are several ways to break the opponent's guard. One of them is to look back and you see which foot is underneath, which would be this foot. This leg, his foot is underneath. So what you do is you push down on their knee, and that pushes pressure on their ankles and breaks their guard. The other way you can do it is to get your hands into your opponent's stomach. Then you want to get your knee under their butt. It gets their hips off the ground so they have less leverage. And then with one elbow, you push into their stomach and down into their thigh. And it creates pressure on their thigh and it hurts, and they'll break the guard. The third way you can break the opponent's guard is to create space the same way you did in the last one, by getting your knee under their butt and getting their hips off the ground. If there's space in here, you can get your hand under here. But you got to do this quick because now my arm's trapped and he can get me into a triangle if your react's quick enough. So once you get your arm under, you want to quickly throw the opponent to the side and get into side guard. So if you break the guard by pushing down with your elbow in their thigh or pushing their knee down to the mat, what you want to do is you want to get your knee over their thigh so they can't get you back in the guard. And this will be able to allow you to get your leg over, and you can get into side mount. That's what your goal is. You want to get to side mount, because from there you can get into side control or side guard. So what you want to do is you want to keep their body flat to the ground, and don't put your hands on the mat, because if you put your hands on the mat, they can lock your arms. Same as if you put it up here. They can have a hold of your arms. So you want to keep your arms on their body, keep them flat to the mat. Then, in one quick move, you want to get this leg out, along with this leg out at the same time, and get your chest flat across their chest. And you want to get an arm under here. This is side mount. Keeps their chest flat to the ground, and you want to keep your legs wide, because if your legs are here, you have less leverage, and they can throw you around easily. And if your legs are wide, they can't throw you around as easily. Alright, now I'm in side mount. What I want to try to do is get into side guard. A side guard is where I'm going to bring up my knees to his body quickly, and I want to get one knee in under his armpit, nice and tight into his body, and the other knee I want to be in his hips, really tight. I'm going to do the same with my elbow. So this one's going to be here, nice and tight, and this one's going to be in his hip, tight. So his arm's free, so he could throw some punches, but you can get in here to try to avoid the punches. And from here, what you want to do is try to get into a full mount position. So to get into full mount, you got to get this knee over here, slide across his stomach. But he's not just going to let you do that. Because a lot of them will do what he's doing now, cross their legs so that you can't get over it. So what you want to do is distract him with some ground and pound. You can throw some elbows, some body shots, or you can throw some knees. And after you throw a couple of those, you can look, because normally it'll open up, and you can slide your leg over into full mount. This is the full mount. This is probably the most dominant position you can get on your opponent, because you're completely on top of them and you keep a wide guard, so it's hard to get you off. What they're going to try to do, though, to get you off is they're going to try to buck. And what bucking is with a thrust of power, they're going to extend their hips like that to try and throw me off. You can do it at angles too to try to throw me to the side. So if you're up here tight, it's really easy to get thrown off. So you want to keep a wide guard, so you keep him flat. Also, you want to watch his arms, because he can try to do what's called the shrimp, which is where he's going to push my legs and kind of go to one side to get one leg out, and he'll get me back in the half guard. So I want to keep a wide base. From here, this is where you land the ground and pound. Lastly, there's side control. for side control, what you want to do is get this arm under their head like this. And then you want to sit up so that their arm is trapped behind here so they can't use it to block anything. The other thing you can do is you can take this arm and lock it in your legs so it's trapped here, and you can land ground and pound. And it's called a crucifix when you get their other arm and you trap it here, because then they can't block any punches at all. Also, from side control, you could look for a triangle by throwing up their arm and going in for the triangle. Alright, lastly, I'm going to show you the triangles. There's the leg triangle and the arm triangle. The goal of the triangles is to cut off the two arteries on both sides of the neck, using your leg for the leg triangle and your arm for the arm triangle, and for the other artery you're going to use their own shoulder to cut off their artery. For the leg triangle, the first thing you want to do is get one of their arms and push it down. And when you push it down, you want to bring the leg up and throw it up over their neck. Then you want to get this arm and throw it across your body so his shoulder is in tight to his neck right now. And you want to lock your legs. And then you want to close all the gaps by getting an angle. So to get the angle, what you want to do is you want to turn your legs this way, because then you're going to push their shoulder tight into their neck. And at the same time, you want to bring your hand down into their leg and push off to give yourself that angle. And they should tap in about 3 seconds. So you push like this and create the angle. Then there's the arm triangle. For the arm triangle, you want to start off inside mount. And what you want to do, since you already got your arm under their neck, you want to get into the guard. And then from the guard, you want to do what I talked about earlier, land in the ground and pound. So that way, you can slip your leg over into the mount. But this time, instead of staying in the mount, you keep your arm here, and you want to bring your other leg over to the other side. And you want to get their arm straight up again. This way, you have this arm cutting off this artery, and their shoulder cutting off this. So you want to get your head in under their arm. And again, you got to create the angle. So in this, to create the angle, you want to walk this way. And they should tap when you get about here. I'd like to thank Joey Smith for helping me demonstrate my speech.